Not even narcissists are as bad to have around as a person so insecure in themselves that their every waking moment is spent resenting anyone around them doing better, doing more, or living life on their own terms. They've weaponized their insecurities by leaning in to a mythologized victimization narrative. It's the lens through which they view the world and the people who populate it. The problem with these types of friends stems primarily from their inflamed sense of self and their incredibly inflated sense of perceived injustices directed toward them, and how they are always chafing at the world around them because it's clearly out to get them. And that includes their friends and peers too. They see everything as a potential insult directed at them, even if nothing could be further from the truth. It's a product of always looking outward to prove their value to themselves. Insecure people are always seeking external validation of any type, and as a result are often hypersensitive to the opinions of people around them. It's especially acute when it comes to friends and peers. Comments or actions made or carried out by friends or peers don't even have to have anything to do with them, but they'll still be seen as somehow directed at them. Insecure people will often redirect these statements perceived as insults at themselves, thereby creating a feedback loop of insecurities fed by redirected and self-directed insults and slights that had nothing to do with them in the first place. That's one of the many problems with people who are perpetually insecure with themselves. They will change the language and fabricate intent to find fault in themselves in the eyes of the friends and peers around them that actually value them as people. Those insecurities are a magnet for self-directed insults and get collected like precious heirlooms. That hypersensitivity is constantly on alert for anything that can be repurposed as something to feel slighted by in a moment of self-pity. But it's not just a moment. These people are always in that mindset. Their default setting is self-pity, and you see it in almost everything they do. They are emotional black holes, pulling everything negative they can out of the space around them so that they can feel justified in feeling targeted. That's effed up. In a lot of ways, hypersensitive and acutely insecure people are worse than narcissists. And that's saying something given how destructive narcissists are to the mental health and well-being of the people around them. But it comes down to the simple truth that at least you can be yourself around narcissists. You can't be yourself around insecure people. That's a threat to them in a way that a narcissist doesn't register. Narcissists are immune to anything even remotely resembling criticism or authenticity. Insecure people don't have that defense mechanism, maladaptive though it might be. Their maladaptive ability is reading between the lines and seeing themselves represented there. For the rest of us, when we realize what kind of person we're friends with, it's a tightrope walk to avoid saying or doing anything that will indirectly hurt feelings that are primed and ready to be hurt, regardless of the level of care that we take. Every word is an affront. Every social media post is about them. Every success achieved by others means theirs is diminished. Everything is a direct or indirect threat to their potential worth and value. In the end, the best way to be friends with an insecure person is to be so secure in yourself that you can end the friendship as soon as you know what you're dealing with. Insecure people deserve the special brand of loneliness that only a person who thinks everything is about them gets to experience by way of making everything about them. That type of self-isolation doesn't have a remedy outside of professional therapy. All the usual roads to self-discovery are blocked by the person's own complicity in restricting authentic reflection, and who knows, maybe what you said does apply to them. That right there will push an insecure person into a place of seething resentment, and they will carry it with them for years, letting it continually agitate them so that they can feel validated in wallowing in self-pity and a building sense of martyrdom, all because of you. In the same situation or circumstance, a narcissist will be all about plotting revenge. They'll go out of their way to get back at you for whatever transpired. But narcissists are constantly at odds with people. You'll get filed away with all the others that drew their ire at some point in the past. They'll mostly forget about you at that stage because they rarely have the capacity to balance pathological self-love with externally focused malevolence. They'll make a go of it, then move on if they can't delegate their revenge plot to an underling to carry out for them. That's not revenge driven by insecurity though. That's just plain old-fashioned vanity. A narcissistic person might not even hate you. They might not even think of you as a person. Narcissists are good at dehumanizing people. That mostly makes us forgettable to them outside of extreme circumstances. An insecure person though, they don't need extreme circumstances. All they need are circumstances that fit their narrative. And where a narcissist doesn't need to hate you to go after you, an insecure person doesn't need proof to resent you. Hell, they might even hate you, or at the least are trying to build up the nerve to hate you. They want to justify hating you. That's their thing. They don't want to feel like bad people by not confronting you about what they think is an insult, so they will stew on something until they can give voice to a rationalization for being upset with you in the most abstruse and oblique way possible. Perpetually insecure people want to be assured that hating someone, it's the right thing to do because of X, Y, and Z. Even if X, Y, and Z don't apply in whole or in part to the relationship they have with you. That way, the insecure person can feel validated in feeling the way they do about something that isn't real. My controversial opinion is that it's better to be friends with a narcissist than it is to be friends with someone nursing insecurities of a magnitude that you have to vet everything you put out into the world for fear of them getting hurt feelings over it. Find friends that don't need you to dull your blade so that they can feel sharper.